former NFL offensive lineman Ross Tucker. His thoughts on the Browns possibly trading for Jets wide receiver Garrett Wilson.
I would strongly consider that if I'm the Browns. I mean, because I know what you guys are going to say is, look what Flacco did with the Bengals. Why can you do it with the Browns? And what I was going to tell you is, have you seen Jamar Chase play football? Or have you seen, even to a lesser extent, T. Higgins? Like, I would take T. Higgins over Jerry Jeudy any day of the week. So that's two Bengals receivers I'd rather have than the Browns' best receiver. I think that's a problem. You know, you're going to have a young quarterback one way or the other. I think it'd really be nice if you had a truly high-end receiver. Jeudy is not that. I don't know that he's ever been that. I know there are some statistical years where he's been pretty good, but I would feel much better about Garrett Wilson than I would Jerry Jeudy moving forward.
So, Quincy, do you think it makes sense for the Browns to trade for Garrett Wilson?
This is a tough question the more you think about it, because on the surface, there's very simple, good logic that makes sense here, right? Ross Tucker brings it up. The Browns offense, no wide receivers. Garrett Wilson, good wide receiver. Garrett Wilson, 1,000-yard wide receiver. Garrett Wilson, number 1 wide receiver, right? Browns offense, no wide receivers. So you do the math there. Garrett Wilson to Browns makes sense. Then you think about what it's going to cost to go get him, and you think about what else is going to be on the agenda for this team in the offseason, right? You're not just talking about a wide receiver room that needs replenished. You're talking about possibly an entire makeover of the offensive line and the big ticket one, right? Moving on from the Deshaun Watson era completely and getting your next quarterback project for the future, possibly in the first round, possibly in a situation where you might have to trade draft assets to go get them. So that then begs the question, like, what are you willing to give up that might hurt you in a situation where you're trading to go get a quarterback in the draft, to go get Garrett Wilson? Or is it just more worth it in a strong wide receiver class to wait and draft one later on? This is the stuff that makes it that I can't just give a simple yes or no, right? Yeah. This is the stuff that you have to really consider when you're making this trade, because if they make this trade right now for the next 3 months, we're going to be like, awesome trade, laser eye Andrew Berry emoji. But then, in 6 months, Dave, if let's say these two quarterbacks at the top, Ty Simpson and Fernando Mendoza, are truly like that, and we have the opportunity to move up, but we traded one of the second round picks we needed to give up to the Jets to go get Garrett Wilson, so we can't make that move, we're going to think to ourselves, did we just cost ourselves a quarterback for a wide receiver? That's something you got to really consider in the long run, because, you could come up all sevens right now, but in a year or 2 years' time, you might think to yourself, maybe we should have held off. And then there's like 8 good wide receivers that pop up in the second round next year. Who really knows how things are going to break down? This is why it's a difficult job that Andrew Berry has. It's really, really going to depend on the price for Garrett Wilson. The contract, I don't mind. I think that's a fine contract to inherit. It's the real question of like, hey, how much do you give up to fix this one problem when you got offensive line to take care of and quarterback to take care of on top of wide receiver to take care of this offseason?